Hello everyone and welcome to the penultimate round of the Precision Racing League's 4th season with the iRacing Sunday Series. I'm of course Justin with Box Gaming, and today we'll be seeing the first ever PRL iRacing League race to be featured at the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, which is a track that was released earlier this year, and a track I've actually been to personally. For those of you that have followed the channel for long enough, you will have seen when I went to see Free Practice 1 and 2 last November, and that was a very good time. And there's only one more race left after this one, and there's a pretty serious battle for 4th in the championship right now. That's very close. It's between John Vitrano, who's in the purple Radical there, James Myers, Esteverson Oliveira, Stefan Vesterland, and myself. So it's a 5-way battle for 4th place at the moment. And it's pretty close. I don't have the numbers offhand right now. I'm recording this after the season is finished already, but I did take a picture of the season standings after the Circuit of the Americas race. So at the end of this video, there's going to be standings for the Drivers' Championship and also the Constructors' Championship as well. There are teams, as I've mentioned before in previous videos. Of course, Loro is my teammate for Big Bad Rad Racing. And then also up at the front there, starting in 2nd and 3rd in this race, David Wormald and Spencer Meadows. They're part of Centrifugal Force. And we're currently locked in a battle for the Constructors' Championship lead. And it's pretty close between us, and really it's a battle between the two of them versus Loro. The small amount of points that I pick up is basically just enough to keep them right along in the same area. So if my performance was anything closer to theirs, then it would pretty much be a lockout. I think we would pretty much have it on a lock based on Loro's performance this season. I mean, he's been really untouchable in the Radical this season. So if my performances had been a little bit better, or if I hadn't missed those couple of races, certainly I think it wouldn't be quite so close between us. So we're on the grid at the moment. We have 10 cars for this race, so a little bit bigger race than we've had recently. On pole, we got Loro, my teammate, with a 205.0, which is a really amazing lap. I think he got into the 204s at one point during practice or something like that. Just behind him is David Wormald with a really impressive 205.1. He is not far off of Loro's pace. But he has struggled a little bit more this season, which is something he's even talked about on the forums. Just having off tracks and incidents. It's been certainly at Silverstone. That was a bit of a disappointing race for him. He was hoping for a better result there. Starting from 4th is Esteverson with a really impressive 206.7 behind Spencer, who kind of is splitting the top 2 and everybody else with a 206.0. I'm not sure how representative his lap was though. And then behind Esty is John Vitrano with a 207.6, followed by myself in 6th with a 208.8. Really not that impressive at all. Behind me, Stefan Vesterland with a 209.0, less than 0.2 off. And just behind him is James Myers with a 209.0 as well. Starting from 9th is Austin Hunter, who has not been racing in the league recently. I think this is his first race back in a while. Let me see. Yeah, this is his first race of the season. He didn't race in any of the previous 8 races this season. So this is his first race of the season in the Radical. And again, this is a new track, so that's probably part of the reason that he's struggling. And then Ashley Blakely, I don't know if he chose not to set a time or if he just couldn't keep it on the track. Remember, you only get 2 laps to try and put in a clean lap. So it can be difficult sometimes, even posting a time. So we're going to go ahead and start this race. So there I am in my green Radical, and I had a little bit of wheel spin. I just noticed, I'm just seeing this for the first time in exterior shots, and I had a little bit more wheel spin, or I had wheel spin when I don't think anybody else did. I didn't see any puffs of smoke coming off of anybody else's car. As I'm going around the outside of John Vitrano in turn 1, and I've got the inside line for turn 2. Downhill going towards the S section, and I have managed to take that position. So I've actually jumped up 2 positions ahead of Esty and John Vitrano, moved myself up into 4th place before Sector 1 is even done with. And we're going through this is my favorite section. I really enjoy the start of Sector 2. All of these corners, the really long corners with the changes of direction, The altitude changes, the use of the curbs, just everything about it I really enjoy. Up at the front, we can see that Loro is ahead of David still at the moment, hanging on to that position. Spencer has dropped back a little bit. David is all over the back of Loro at the moment, and I've got John all over me in the purple Radical there. And there's a pretty significant gap building between Spencer and myself, which was pretty predictable. I think we all knew. Everybody in this race knew that the top three were going to be pulling away pretty quickly here. Also, this is a bit of a long race. It ended up being 28 laps and over 2 minutes per lap. So, I mean, I think this race ended up being over an hour, so I will be fast forwarding. Just to warn you guys, give you a heads up, I will be doing some serious fast forwarding as I don't know what turn number that is. I forgot to pull up the map for this recording, but John Vidrano having a look up my inside, but couldn't get quite as good of an exit as myself. And you can see I'm taking a little bit of a later apex through there and get a little bit better run out of that corner. I can tell you I'm running actually short gears for this race, short gears, and I'm running high downforce, really high downforce as well. So I am going to struggle in the straights as John has a look at my inside. And just behind him, we got Ashley Blakely, who is very close, and now is moving to the left-hand side. I'm not sure if he's in that kind of no man's land where he can't quite get the slipstream off me, but now he's not gaining on me anymore, which can be really tough. And he's got the inside line for turn 1, however, and uses some really nice late braking, actually, and just takes that position pretty effortlessly. So I am back down into 6th place now, where I started at the end of lap 1, started lap 2. So that's a bit unfortunate, certainly, and really this is where my car should be excelling versus other cars, is in the Sector 1 high-speed S section, Maggots-Beckett's type section. That's really where I should be pulling away from everybody, and as you can see, SD, even that close with that dirty air, really having no trouble keeping up with me, so it is looking like he's probably the faster driver at this time. Now, one thing I do want you guys to keep an eye out for, though, is this is one of my cleanest races, maybe ever. So I want you guys to keep an eye out throughout this race on just the fact that I'm not going over the curbs, I'm not spinning, I'm not hitting anyone. This is, I think, one of the top 3 cleanest races I've ever had. Maybe number 1, I don't know. Really, really clean race, and that was my main focus. I noticed a lot of people were, wow, as you could see the front left wheel lifting off the ground as I was going through that corner. I'm not going to rewind it and do slow-mo as much as I really want to, because again, this is going to be a longer video, so I want to try and just kind of move through this stuff. As I've gone deep into that hairpin, and that's going to let SD through, and yeah, I couldn't even do a switch back there. I did so poorly, and he's got the inside line for this corner. I'm just trying to take a different line than him. You could really see that from this wonderful shot from the tower here. I love that camera angle, but you can really see the difference in lines there. So we're finishing lap 2 now, right? Yeah, only 2 laps. And I'm now down to 7th, actually, so I'm actually down a position. I do believe that actually, let's see, let me take a look at the qualifying results again. Yeah, Ashley. Yeah, so it was Ashley who was the unrepresentative time. Clearly, Ashley having much better pace than he showed in qualifying, as he obviously didn't even set a time in qualifying. But there were a lot of people having off-track incidents and spins and stuff like that during practice. I didn't have a load of practice for this. I want to say maybe 3 or 4 hours, and it was all on the same day of the race. It was the day of the race that I was doing the practice. And again, I got setup help from Loro, as I do at most circuits, just about every race. I'd say maybe all but one. Yeah, I think South Boston was the only track where I didn't ask Loro for any setup tips. I just jumped in, made my own setup. I really liked it. I was competitive with it, so I never even bothered to ask him about it. So not every race this season, but certainly a lot of my setup credit goes to Loro. As you can see, Ashley there going very wide. It looked like, oh, as we got a spinner in the background, and I think that was Stefan. I'm not sure. No, that was Austin. That was Austin. So again, he does not have a lot of experience with this car, and none of us really have a lot of experience with this track. So unfortunately, he just loses the back end in the hairpin there. It's like turn 9 or 10. I can't remember which one. And once again, we see Ashley going wide out of the corner. He's going side by side with Esty. And let's actually go ahead and take a look at this battle, because this is very interesting. Esty's going to have the inside line for the hairpin coming up. But Ashley may be able to get a better exit and maybe try a switchback. Nope, that's been ruined. He's unfortunately lost it in the middle of that corner. I think he got on the curb, and now he's under attack from me, and I've got the inside line through this very high-speed double apex right-hand corner. It's not flat out in these radicals, even with my high downforce. You do have to lift, possibly even downshift, depending on how good your exit is. And look, he's going wide again. So Ashley Blakely, very quick, but unfortunately looking like he just doesn't have the consistency to stay that high up, as we see that beautiful lockup going into the final corner there. I think that's turn 17. I do believe it's a 17 corner track. I wonder if I can count them out. Oh, it's so hard to count the corners. Oh, God. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8, 9, 10, 11 is the hairpin, 12 is the end of the straight, and then it gets a bit complicated. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now I'm thinking there's 19 corners on the track. I'm not so sure anymore, so I'm not going to bother. I do know turns 1 and 2 certainly, and this is turn 7. I know, because this was my favorite place to sit, which therefore means that this is turn 8. Oh, wow, and look at that. Ashley just flying up on the back of me, but I just get a much better exit out of there. And it's a fairly long run. You're full throttle through that little kink, that turn 10 kink. I believe that's turn 10. So you're full throttle, getting all the way up into 6th gear, I want to say, before, certainly I am with my shorter gears, before breaking down for the hairpin as we come onto the very long straight. And I was using a mixture of 1st and 2nd gear at that hairpin. It was really difficult for me to decide which was faster. I don't have it set so that I can see deltas during the race. I don't know if you can change that. I don't know if there's some way that I can change that possibly. But I don't see deltas during the race. Oh, I've gone deep, but Esty's gone deep as well. And Austin has spun it in the background there. Or I'm sorry, Ashley, I do apologize. It's those A names, they keep messing me up. Ashley has spun it in the background there, unfortunately, under braking for that hairpin at the end of the very long straight. Esty went very deep into the corner, and I went just a little deep into the corner, so none of us taking that corner properly, as we're just all messing up, and it basically looked like I messed up the least out of everybody. So actually, I managed to gained a little bit of time on Esty up ahead, and certainly pulled a very nice gap to Ashley behind, as he actually lost position to James and possibly Stefan as well. Let's go ahead and take a look, as I'm clearly not going to be attacking anytime soon. Okay, no, it looks like he just fell behind James. James in the red and black one. He may have fallen behind Stefan, but he got back pretty quickly. And Austin's actually not that far behind. So we get a pretty nice battle here for really 5th position. So up ahead in 4th, we got John, who is just running the loneliest race that you've ever seen. While up ahead, we got Spencer and David in pretty close proximity to Loro as well. So there's a battle for the lead that's going on between the top 3 guys. And then John has really set himself as best of the rest, just outside of the podium positions, and running comfortably in 4th position at the moment here on lap 5. Oh no, as we got a spin from Esty. Let's go ahead and rewind that real quick. And, yep, this is the turn 7, and, yep, I think he got a bit heavy on the curb. You can see there's actually damage to the front left quarter panel of his car. He's damaged the front bumper. I think on that curbing right there, there's a really hefty curb right. Let me go ahead and, I'm going to do bumper, nose, nope, nose, yep. Right there, you can see this yellow curb right here. It's much higher off the ground than the rest of it, and I think Esty just hit that thing really hard, enough to the point where he damaged his car, and that actually sent him into a spin. You can see as the damage happens a little bit late there. Man, I love the slow-mo shots of this car at this track. Just, oh, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, it even changes in slow motion. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let me hide the UI. Just, ooh, look at me drive through the smoke. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's so good. That's good stuff. And, of course, that's going to give me a position. That's going to move me up into 5th now, actually, after starting from 6th on the grid. So after moving up to 4th, And then down to 7th. I am now up to 5th position here on lap 5. Got quite a few laps to go now. Okay, this is where one of those times where I think we might need to be fast forwarding. Yeah, so, oh gosh, wow, look at that dive bomb from Ashley. Nice move on James there. That has compromised his exit though. James is going to be right back on the attack as they go down this very long straight. James has the inside line now as well. Of course, Ashley's going to be picking up that nice toe from Esty up ahead, and that slipstream is going to probably help him a little bit as they're breaking down now for the hairpin at the end of the straight here. And it looks like James has got some very, very nice late braking, and he's going to stay to the right-hand side, grab the inside line for this next corner, and that's going to be job done right there. There's just no way. There's no way that he can hang with him around the outside, or can he? And he's got the inside line now for the hairpin. Holy crap. What a move from Ashley there. That is really impressive stuff right there. That is really impressive. I'm glad. I had no idea that that happened. You know, I just randomly decided to see what was going on behind after things slowed down for me up at the front there. And what a move from Ashley there. Great defending from James as well. Great racing from both of them. That's great stuff to see. And that's the sort of thing that you can see in PRL. Insert promo here for all you guys that want to experience this type of racing. Go sign up for Season 5 right now. It starts next month. We're going to have all the same people. Everyone's returning, as far as I know. I haven't heard from anybody. I don't know why that says lap 23 on that board. You can ignore that. Obviously, it's only lap 6. But everybody's returning, as far as I know. So it should be an action-packed season. It's with the Mustang, which some people are describing as sort of like the Miata with more power. It handles really well, actually. You'd think a Mustang wouldn't handle all that well, but this is a racing version. So it's been heavily lightened. I think it weighs under 3,000 pounds. I'm pretty sure anyway, so it weighs under 1,400 kilograms for you Euros out there, or South Americans, or anybody else in the world, basically, that isn't America or England. So yeah, about 1,400 kilograms or under, I believe. I want to say it's something like that. It's a pretty lightweight car. Okay, let's go ahead and I'm not going to be catching John, so we're going to do a rear chase, and we're going to do 8x, straight up 8x. I'm going to have my finger on the pause button here. So now that was lap 5, so this is lap 6, and Esty did not pit, so he is staying out with that damage to his front left quarter panel, and you can see he's catching me. So if it's not already very obvious that he has the pace on me for this race, it should be now, especially seeing this in fast forward mode. You can see how much time he's gaining on me. Now, again, I want to point out that I have the short gears. Okay, yep, I think it's time to just let this play now. And I'm gonna switch to, let's do TV3. I know there's like controls that I could do to change these camera angles, but I'll do it eventually. That's what I keep saying, you know. I plan on doing more overlays for my Twitch as well. You know, I plan on doing just more things, more features, stuff like that. You know, I want to try and make this as professional as I can for you guys. At the time of this video, we're already past 900 of you guys, 900 subscribers, and the channel's not even a year old. We just started last August, which is just mind-blowing to me. Every time I think about how little time has passed and how much the channel has grown and everything, it just blows me away. So I am still hanging on to this position from Esty at the moment as I get another lockup. Oh, I love the camera angles showing the lockups with the inside tire going into that final corner there. But I was trying to mention earlier, before I got distracted by the amazingness that's happening on track and talking about how awesome you guys are too. I was talking about the short gears that I'm running. Now, what that means is, of course, that I have better acceleration than the other cars. So, in spite of the high downforce that I'm running, I'm also running the front dive planes. I mean, I'm running like a 36-degree rear wing angle for this race, something like that, with the dive planes as well. And it causes me to struggle in the straights, absolutely, but the short gears help with that, actually. I am hitting the limiter. If you guys watch the cockpit view race that's going to be linked at the end of this, you'll be able to see just how much I'm on that limiter, actually, at the end of the straight. It's not as much as you might be thinking, but it's for a solid 2 or 3 seconds. I'm not just barely hitting it. Like, I am riding that limiter for a pretty decent amount of time. But I am able to pull away in the straight, as you can see here. I'm pulling away from SD pretty well here. I mean, he's even getting a toe off of me, and he's probably running lower downforce than me. I think I was running higher downforce than just about everybody at this race. So those short gears really coming in handy. I do struggle a bit at the end of the straight while I'm on that limiter. That's my weakest point on the track, is at the end of the very long straight. But everywhere else, I got a lockup going into the hairpin, but I managed to hang on to it and managed to hit my apex and run off. I should mention, at this point in the race, I still have 0 X's. I have not gone off track. I have not had any contact. I have not spun. Nothing whatsoever. So I'm still at a 0X race at the moment. Unfortunately, they don't show that type of stuff in replays. And I've been talking for about 20 minutes straight right now without taking a break, and I could use just a little bit of sip of something. It's kind of the downside of doing solo commentary for these videos, is that I am the only one talking, so I have to fill the time entirely, which means I don't really get a chance to stop talking, which means my throat starts getting a little parched. So I am going to let you enjoy this battle between myself and Esty for just a minute here while I take a drink and just let my throat rest. Wow, okay. Well, I'm glad I decided to take that break actually, because apparently things were just about to get interesting. As we saw there, Esty with a little bit of a oversteer moment at the hairpin, I believe, turn 11. I do apologize. I meant to bring up the map with the turn numbers on them, because I don't have it memorized. I have turn 7 memorized. I have turns 1 and 2 memorized. But after that it gets a little hazy. So Esty with losing the back end and giving me a little bit of breathing room. He's not going to be getting the toe off of me, the slipstream anymore, which is definitely going to help. Let's go ahead and take a peek up at the front and just see what's going on real quickly. Nope, wrong way. Okay, so this is John going through the penultimate corner. He's coming up to the final corner right now, breaking down to about 2nd gear most likely. And no lockup from him, actually, interesting to note. And he's actually just behind Spencer, so it looks like Spencer's had a spin or something. Yeah, David, remember, they were running very close to each other, and David has pulled out a pretty significant gap to Spencer now, as he's already into the S section, as Spencer is just coming through turn 1 now, and followed very closely by John Vetrano, so it looks like John might be challenging for that podium position, as Loro has also pulled out a pretty hefty gap, as he's going through turn 10, no, 9, and then here's 10. So yeah, he's got a pretty healthy gap to David behind. And wow, Esty has already caught that time back up to me. Pretty impressive here. I am going to go ahead and fast forward again, because we're not even halfway through this race yet, and it's already been 24 minutes. I'm just going to do 4x though. I got my finger on the pause. So yeah, you'll see my line through the hairpin is a little bit different than Esty's, and that's to get a better run out of the corner. And he's going to have the inside line here, but that's going to give me the outside line coming out of the corner, which is then going to give me the inside line for this corner. And Esty and I, this was a great race for both of us. Obviously very clean, very respectful. Didn't have any problems with anybody. You know, nobody had any cheeky moves or aggressive moves or anything like that. So this was a really great battle. Possibly the best battle of the season to this point. This was probably the battle of the season for me. because you can see just how long it's going for. I mean, and he actually got ahead of me and then spun, which is, you know, just adding to the drama. But basically, I'm doing the same thing that Jenson Button did to Kimi Räikkönen in 2012 here at Circuit of the Americas, for those of you who might remember. And you can look it up on YouTube. Esty looked it up on YouTube and linked it to me in the forums after our battles here to show just how similar it was to that F1 battle between Button and Räikkönen, where basically you would think going down the straight that you want the inside line, and under some circumstances that would be the case. But if your tires are about the same as the car that's trying to overtake you, you actually want to stay to the right, in my opinion, for this long straight. And that is because you then get the inside line for the next 2 corners. It's a double apex right-hander, as Esty has gone off track, and that's going to give me some nice breathing room, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward again. But yeah, you want to stay to the right-hand side. Is he spun again? He's spun again at the hairpin. I wonder if that damage he got earlier from the curb is what's causing it. I don't think he mentioned it or not on the forums afterwards, so I don't know if that was the damage that was causing that, or if he just maybe was pushing pretty hard to get by me, and that's what's causing the spins. But again, it's making the race that much more interesting. As we're on lap 13 now, so we are approaching the halfway point of this race now. And again, I'm not gonna bother going forward because they are long gone, all 4 of them. As you can see, Esty already closing that gap down. So even with that damage, even with the spinning, he is still faster than me and is catching up to me pretty quickly. But yeah, you want to have the outside line for that corner, so you get the inside line for the next 2 corners. If you can hang it around the outside, like Ashley did earlier, if you can hang it around the outside like Ashley did earlier, then yes, that you want to have the inside line going in at the end of this straight here. But that's only if you have the confidence and grip to hang it around the outside of 2 right-hand corners like that. So that's very circumstantial. I prefer to have the outside line for the corner at the end. That way I get the inside line for the next 2 corners. And Esty already at this point in the race is starting to learn that as we're lapping someone there. It wasn't Ashley, so I believe that was Austin, who is showing right now in 9th position. So I think that was Austin that I was lapping there. Also, as I was mentioning earlier, I do take a different line through the hairpin than most everybody else to try and maximize my exit. It's extra important for me to get a good exit out of that hairpin because of the high downforce that I'm running for this race. The exit means even more for me. So I adjusted my line pretty early in practice to try and maximize. I do lose time. You know, I could take a tighter line through there and gain time, but then I lose time with the exit, and then I lose time the whole way down. And in my testing, it was overall ever so slightly faster for me to just compromise my line through the corner and get the better exit. Again, I want to point out at this point in the race still, and I think you guys can see this even from the fast forwarding, I still do not have any off tracks, no spins, no crashes, nothing whatsoever. No incidents at all, and we are now past the halfway point of this race, which I am really proud of. That has happened to me in the past, though. There have been races in the past. Oh, we got David behind. Really quickly, I just want to mention you can see David in the distance. So he has pit now. He has made his compulsory pit stop, and he is trying to get by the Esty and I as quickly as possible, as I imagine. As Esty does dive into the pits now, I am going to stay out. And I've noticed that I tend to do this in the races. I don't know if you guys maybe have noticed this too, but I tend to go longer on my first stint than other people do. I'm not sure if I'm just better with fuel economy or if I'm better with math, so I'm able to more accurately predict exactly what lap I need to pit on. It's not about pitting. You know, I don't like pitting with more than a lap worth of fuel. I will only pit with less than 1 lap of fuel. And that's really important to me for some reason, because strategy is a big part of my racing, as I'm sure many of you guys know at this point. I'm not super fast, but I'm pretty good with strategy stuff. And as we see David just fly right by me, and I'm in his slipstream right now. That's why I was over to the left-hand side. But I knew I wasn't going to get by him. I was just using that slipstream to try and give me time on Esty. And that's important right now because Esty pit before me. This isn't like F1 where you undercut people. Because there's a refueling involved, that last lap there, Esty was driving around with more fuel than I was. Also, his tires may have cooled down ever so slightly while he was in the pits. So theoretically, I have the faster car at that time. And here we go. Okay, I am coming out of the pits. I got the inside line on Esty. He's going to have the inside line for turn 2 now, though. Remember, though, I have high downforce, probably higher downforce than most people. Oh, and there's almost a little bit of contact there, and I think there was contact. There was contact. That must have been a 0x incident, though, because I can tell you, I still, at this point in the race, still do not have any incidents. I'm still running a 0 incident race. So there was slight contact between the two of us. You can see slight damage on my car, slight damage on his car as well. But that wasn't a very serious incident. Neither of us has significant damage, as we see Esty running ever so slightly wide. And it looks like I've gotten a better run down towards this hairpin. And now you can really see that the difference in the line. You can, yeah, right there. I mean, you can see he's running out wide much earlier than I am, but I'm getting on the throttle sooner, which is why he's not already catching me. So, I mean, he should already be catching me with that slipstream and the lower downforce, but I mean, he's only now at the end of the straight really starting to gain speed on me. Again, I am electing to stay to the right-hand side. I'm giving him the inside line for this corner so that I can have the inside line for the next 2 corners. And again, at this point in the race, I think he has already learned that that is my tactic. But there's really not much he can do. The only way that he could get that outside line is if he takes me around the outside of the hairpin before the long straight. That's really the only way that he can get that right-hand track position going in at the end of the straight there. So that's a difficult one for him. This is a little bit like a game of chess at this point because he is definitely the faster car. But I'm just placing my car as well as I can to try and prevent him. For instance, I know that this really isn't a passing location. If he managed to shoot up the inside of the final corner, though, and get the inside line there, that he would absolutely take me. So that's I definitely need to get a good run through the penultimate corner so that I can keep him behind me and not alongside me. Again here, I want to actually have the outside line for turn 1 because that'll give me the inside line for turn 2. So you can see I left him room at the apex there, which he actually didn't even get to use because I guess I did some late braking there and managed to hang on to that. And man, the textures. I mean, you guys won't be able to see the textures like me, but as the gravel is going by, I can see the wheel marks and just debris, not debris, but like, you know, just small spots and stuff like that. You probably won't see it in the same quality as I'm seeing it right now, but man, iRacing is a good-looking game if you ask me. It's not amazing, but you know, how many games can be amazing? Because it really, you know, once you find one, like, you know, if you think Project Cars looks amazing, then anything lower than that is just going to be good. And iRacing is debatably, you know, or probably factually, not as graphically impressive as Project Cars is. Esty's gotten a better exit out of that hairpin. You can see he's gaining on me earlier in the straight this time. So I'm going to need to do some really, really late braking if oh no, he's already gotten by me. Yep, and I think that's it. Oh, has he gone deep? He's gone deep. He's gone deep into the corner. So that's allowed me to hang on to that position. So he was being a little bit too aggressive. I think, you know, at this point in the race, he's already realized, as we're on lap 21 of 28, he's already realized that it's going to take some aggressive maneuvering from him in order to get by me. So I think he tried some really, really late braking so he could get that inside line for the next 2 right-hand corners. And unfortunately, that just didn't work out for him. And I'm going to need to fast forward again because I need to be wrapping this video up in the next 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. You can still get a great view of the battling, even in the fast forward mode here, as he's lost some significant time to me, actually, in Sector 2 there, which is the sector that I should be the strongest. Not so much in Sector 3, because there's some pretty slow speed corners in Sector 3. Really, the only slow speed corner in Sector 2 is the hairpin before the straight, and again, I've already talked about my strategy for that hairpin. As again, I'm forcing Esty to the inside, and again, I just defend. And wow, he tried around the outside of the double right-hander high-speed one there, and that certainly didn't work either. And he's trying everything at this point. Now lap 24 of 28, and wow, okay, yeah, he's definitely He's definitely got me now, surely. I mean, look at that. We're under braking already, and he's got the position. Yep, and he's got it. He's got it. There's no way I can fight back at this point. I would have to just try something really stupid, and there's no way. Again, at this point, I want to point out I still have not had any off tracks, no spins, no incidents, just that brief contact with SD here, but there was no mechanical damage from either of us. And you can see I am coming back at him, but again, I don't see. And even at this point in the race, I knew even now that this was over. He's so much faster than me. I mean, he's got to be at least 4/10 a lap faster than me, which may not sound like a lot to some of you guys, but to the rest of you, you'll know 4/10 a lap is huge. And I think he's at least 4/10 a lap faster than me. So I think I'm actually, you know, he was getting pretty heavy dirty air off me. The more downforce the car ahead has, the more dirty air effect for the car behind. So he should have struggled even more in the corners to keep up with me, and he really didn't. And it should be fairly easy for me to keep up with him in the corners because I have so much more downforce than him. I believe, again, I do believe that's the case. You'd have to actually check with SD to be 100% sure, but I do believe that I'm running a lot more downforce than him. And you can see I am sticking with him pretty well as I'm getting some oversteer through that long corner, and that's it. That's going to be game over right there on lap 25 here. That little snap of oversteer, that's put me far enough out of his slipstream that I'm just not going to be getting enough of a benefit to keep up with him on the straights. And the turns are the only place that I can legitimately keep up with him. So unfortunately, that is race over, so I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through the rest of it. Obviously, I continued to push. I'm still pushing, still going as fast as I possibly can because, as we all know, SD has spun this race already. So historically, you know, just looking at the past laps, I'm telling myself just keep pushing, stay with him as best as you can. If he ends up going deep into another corner or having another little spin, you know, that's all we need in order to take this back. As we're now on the penultimate lap, so I mean right now if he spun and I took it back, I'm pretty sure I could defend that position for a lap and a half. So I'm doing my best to keep up with him as best as I possibly can here, but it's not happening. He knows that he just needs to keep it on the road in order to finish ahead of me in 5th position. Yeah, I mean this was a battle for 5th, you guys. A pretty hardcore battle for 5th if you ask me. I mean that lasted pretty much the entire race. More or less, as we're going to come to the end of the lap. So, oh goodness, yes, this is finishing right at the perfect time, because I need to start work in a little bit here, and I'm behind on these videos, and I plan on working on making a promotional video for Season 5 with the Mustang, where I'm going to go to a bunch of different tracks with a bunch of different skins, a bunch of different liveries, and I'm going to take some footage, and I'm going to set it to music, and I'm going to promote the league and try and get as many people to sign up as possible. By the time this video comes out, it'll probably already be public knowledge that I'm kind of getting a promotion at PRL. I'm going to be helping to generate interest for the league, helping to do promotions for the league and get people signed up and all sorts of stuff like that. Just promotion stuff, really. I forget the exact title already. Sorry about that. I forget the title already. But so I am going to be certainly focusing a lot more on trying to get you guys to sign up for PRL. It's something I've been doing pretty much all season long, as many of you know, but and actually a lot of people that watch this are already in PRL, so I'm kind of preaching to the choir for a lot of the views when it comes to these videos, and I know that, but you never know who's gonna look these up and say, wow, you know, that looked like really fair, clean racing. And I want to point out that was a 0 incident race for me, and first one of the season, which was really nice to get that at my home track at Circuit of the Americas. So I was really happy about that. And, you know, it was really good racing between SD and myself as well. SD was really happy. I mean, you could tell that he was just like glowing after the race, especially because, you know, he beat me, of course. So he got all this great battling. And then also in the end, he got the position. He got his man. So obviously he was very happy with his result. I'm sure maybe he could have challenged John Vetrano up ahead without the spins and stuff like that. But I was honored to be a part of that battle, and it was a lot of fun. And again, I want to say probably the best battle of the season so far. Really great stuff from SD there. So at this point, I'm now going to, with the magic of photo or video editing, I'm going to throw up the Drivers' Championship results. Whoosh! There they are. So right now, after 9 races out of 10, Loro is currently in first with 184 points. They only count 8 of your races, which is so that people that, you know, miss a race or two, like myself actually this season, so that they're not 100% left out. Otherwise, you know, just people who showed up for every race would win, basically. So there are 2 drop races. You drop your 2 lowest scoring races. Obviously, there's only 1 drop so far, and it's only for the top 2 because they're the only ones that have had more than 8 races so far. They've only had 1 drop because, again, it's 8 races that are counted. So if they do well in Spa, then they'll drop one of the other tracks that we're seeing here. So he's ahead of Spencer at the moment with Spencer has 151. Oh, but let's count the drops in. So actually Loro's at 175 and Spencer is at 139, which is a 36-point gap, which means that the championship is over. Loro is the champion, actually. So congratulations to my teammate Loro for grabbing that Drivers' Championship for Season 5. Very well deserved, very well earned. Great driving all season. He's untouchable, pretty much flawless. I challenge any of you to come in and beat Loro. He is quite the opponent. So yeah, Spencer in second place, and he's actually 26 points ahead of David, which, yes, yeah, which means that is now also locked out. So Spencer is the Season 2 second place finisher, and David is 30 points ahead of John Petrano, so he is the Season 3 third place finisher. So the top 3 have been decided already at this point, so that's all done with. But we can see here that John, after his strong finish, is now in 4th position with 83 points. James drops down a position to 5th place with 81 points. My good finish, and you see I got a bonus point there. That's because I led 1 lap of the race, I believe, and that's because I stayed out longer, actually. So my strategy where I stay out longer in the first stint, actually it earned me an extra championship point, which is very handy. So we can see there, I have 77 points. I'm only 1 point ahead of Esty at the moment, who has 76, and he is only 5 points ahead of Stefan at the moment, who has 71. Stefan Vesterland. So really close battle here for 4th place. It is going to come down to the final race at Spa, and this is my first race ever at Spa in iRacing. I have never raced that track in iRacing before. Obviously the season is over as of this recording, so I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that Spa is the best race of the season. I would race Spa 10 times. That would be the best season ever for me. Let's just race Spa every week. Best race of the season. So do not miss Spa, because that video is going to be amazing. And I hope it'll be out pretty soon, because I'm really fired up about recording it. So that's going to do it for this video. As always, there will be a link to the unedited race from Cockpit View. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me throw up the team standings. Team Championship, whoosh! So now after 9 races, Centrifugal Force has 264 points, and Big Bad Rad Racing has 261 points, which also means that the Constructors Championship is going to come down to the wire, very last race of the season. So again, really make sure that you don't miss that. And also again, there's going to be that link to the unedited race from the Cockpit View at the end of this video, and I want to thank you for watching. Bye-bye.